Welcome, everyone. Good morning, Charanang.
Morning, Bante. Good evening, everybody. So today we are going to go to the last section of chapter 8, which is Paññatti, the concepts, and it's going to be interesting, like many different kinds of concepts are being explained. And then we'll do a very brief introduction to chapter 9. So next week we are going to enter chapter 9, finally.
Already going to the last chapter.
Yes, so the last chapter is about meditation, Kamatana, and so we will do a very brief introduction of what we are going to look at in chapter 9 today also. Okay, so I will share the screen now and let's start by paying respect.
Paying respect, remembering all our teachers. Seadu Nandamala Bhiwamsa, Seadu Kamsachara, Seadu Tejaniya, Seadu Silananda, and all their teachers, all the way going generations and generations to the Buddha, with much gratitude for all the tools and wisdom that he left for all of us to use. And together we go in Pali, paying homage to the sublime, the victorious one, to the totally self-enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Same. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's start. We offer this merit that we are about to do to all the people, our family, parents, brothers and sisters, and all beings who suffer more than us. May many fruits arise from today's session, be beneficial for many.
Okay, so let's start. Today we're going to talk about concepts. In Pali is called Paññatti. So let's take a look of what does it mean by concept. No? So Paññatti, this word, actually there are two meanings of it. Previously, in previous chapters, we have also talked about this a little bit, but it will be in a little bit more details today. So the first meaning is Paññatti means that which is made known. So in the Pali, a more specific term, this is called Atta Paññatti, that which is made known. So in other terms, we can call it the thing, no? The thing that is being made known. So let's say, for example, a mountain. The mountain, actually, it is a concept because there is actually no mountain. There are only like a lot of material
pebbles,
material particles that they are piled up in such a form that we call that a mountain. No? So, but then the mountain itself, the thing itself, is called Atta Paññatti. So that which is made known. No, so something, the thing that is made known.
Made known, like when we say, look, there is the mountain there. Then that thing that is being made known, we can call to somebody or by ourselves, we can know it. That thing is
the mountain itself is Atta Paññatti, no? And then since we have to give it a name or to say something, so that which makes known is called Nama Paññatti. In other words, the name that we give to the thing, no?
The mountain.
Yeah. So the mountain itself is called Nama Paññatti, and the mountain itself, because it is still a concept, it's not ultimate reality. Therefore, that is called Atta Paññatti. Okay, so the thing is thing concept. Let's say the think, that which is made known, and the name, which is that which makes known, no, that which makes something known.
So one thing is the thing, the boulders and the shape without a name. That would be the thing that is made known without a name, and then the name we put on it. That's a mountain. Or in Spanish, we'll say montaña, and there will be many kinds, different ways of referring to the same kind of structure with a single name. And we can see some generalizations of concepts because we use the same word for all the mountains, but all the mountains are individual. They're in different places. They're made of different materials, but we use that kind of concept, and we see how broad and specific the concepts are. In relation to the ultimate realities, which really are happening.
Or on the other hand, in ultimate reality, whatever mountain it may be, it's only the 8 awini boga, no? The 8 inseparables, no? The 4 great elements and all the other materials. There's nothing else there. But because it is piled in such a shape, it is in such a shape that we call it a mountain. And sometimes we call it una montaña, and in another language we call it something else. So nama Paññatti also change. But Atta Paññatti, well, let's say person from different countries, they see the same mountain made up of the same material, thing, but they can call it differently. So yes. Nama Paññatti also can
and change, there are other concepts, like in Spanish we will say loma, montaña, hill, or something, which depends on how big, and these are just conventional conventions that we have made as humans to be more specific about things. But we can understand that that thing in itself, the concepts, are not real, are just ideas that we are posing on top of ultimate realities.
Yes.
Structures of nature.
Yes. So here, Atta Paññatti is actually, we can call it, it's actually better to call it that which is made known, not something that is known, as something that is represented by the name. Okay, that is represented by the name.
I want to make a last pointing. Now, when we start understanding, easy not to understand, of course, the mountain, it has no name. The mountain doesn't know how we call it. The mountain is just matter happening and rising and passing away. Let's try to go forward to our practice. The same is true for what I call I, me, and my name. It's the same. This matter doesn't know the name that we put it. This matter doesn't know if it was born where or what does the mind likes or anything. In the same way, the Atta, the idea of ourselves, is based on one of these concepts. That's why the Buddha says, Atta is non-existent. The I is non-existent, self is non-existent, soul is non-existent, only ultimate realities made known, only a structure that is similar, that we call I, me, you, she, he, whatever, based on this unreal, useful, but unreal, in ultimate sense, concepts.
About this point, actually, we will go into a little bit more details later on today. And just that Bhante now mentioned Atta, just for us not to get confused, this Atta is A-T-T-A, and this Atta that we are talking about, Ta, A-T-T-H-A, is a different, different thing. I'm not talking about the soul. Atta. Atta.
This one has an extra H.
Not that so Atta. No?
Yes.
Okay, so that which is represented by the name, the thing itself, the concept of the thing itself here is called Atta Paññatti, and the name which represents that thing, which we call the thing, is called Nama Paññatti. Now, Atta Paññatti, the concept of what is made known in this chapter, is further divided into different categories. So now we are going to look at the different types, which is quite interesting. The first one is called Santana Paññatti, continuity concept. So this is the first example actually that we have been using, like the mountain. So what actually it is are just material properties that are arranged in a continuity. So those 8 awiniboga, the 8 inseparable particles bound by temperature, uduja, awiniboga, no? So temperature produced material properties, they are arranged in a certain way, and then they arise and passing away, arise and passes away, but in a continued form, no?
In the same place,
and the
arising
same
and
form.
passing away. The mountain is still there. When we look back again, the mountain is still there, is arising and passing away, all this matter in a contiguous way on the same place.
Yeah,
similar
surely it can sometimes change. If it rains a lot, maybe some part fall down or whatever it may be. But the shape in that continuity form that we see it in, like the same thing. So this thing is called Santana Paññatti, continuity concept.
A concept that we call that is generally there. We will born, the mountain we will be there, we will die, the mountain will continue there. Definitely change, but it is contiguously arising and passing away in that matter, in that same spot.
So that they are seen as land, as mountain, and so on. So this kind of Paññatti is the first type of Atta Paññatti. So let's go to the second one.
We will explore many kinds of different kinds of concepts of Paññattis now.
Yeah, so second one is called Samuha Paññatti. So Samuha Paññatti is the collection concept. This is also very familiar, that we have used this example many times, such as a car. So a car is actually many different parts put together, no? So it's a collection of things, no? Or a collection of other concepts actually, because the chair, the wheel, the engine, all these are not ultimate realities.
Still
At
concepts.
least the mountains, they are ultimate reality, no? They are material properties that are made, that are put in such a form, arranged. But this is still a collection of many other concepts to make a concept.
Well, ultimately, of course, the whole car is matter. It's
Yes.
Ultimately, there are atoms arising and passing away. But yes, because they are parts, the valve, the window, the steering wheel, whatever, it is just concepts and concepts. You make first one, the engine, and then you put that concept or that collection of pieces onto another one. So finally, you get what we call a car. Yes, we very easily, CIR, very easily call the whole amazing collection of units, one single concept we use, made of many other different. We can say which one is the wheel and etc. etc. So this one will the collection of many kinds of small collections inside.
Yes. Sometimes in other books, this is also mentioned as a Santana Paññatti, also possible. We can say it is a continuity concept because there's a shape or form of the car. No? So when we see the shape or form like car, so we can also call that the continuity because it still looks like a car.
It continues for some years, maybe less than a mountain, but yes, it still continues.
Yes, so it has the shape that we call it a car or the shape of a house or whatever it may be, no? Okay, so this is the second one. Let's go to the third Paññatti. The third one is what Bhante was saying right now. That's called the Satta Paññatti, so being concept. So as we know, what we called a person, an individual, a being, it's actually just a collection of the 5 aggregates. So it's Chitta, Chittasika, and Rupa, no? So actually, a being or a person does not really exist. What really exists in ultimate reality are only Chitta, Chittasika, and Rupa. But we do call them a person, even we call them a Sotapanna, a Buddha, or
we put in a name, we
so
can
that
change
is also
name.
A concept, no? So this is called Satta Paññatti, being concept.
Yes, Satta.
Okay, so now the next one is related to directions and to time. So the fourth one is called Disa Paññatti, direction concept, and Kala Paññatti, time concept. So these two, depending on the position of the planets and the sun and like that. So we have this kind of concept of a direction of time. For example, Disa Paññatti, direction concept, depending on the position of the sun, then we tell where is north, east, south, west. No? So north, east, south, west actually does not really exist. It's an idea, no? It's a concept, depending on where the sun, the position of the sun. No?
Through time as humans, we have agreed, okay, let's call from where the sun comes up, we call it east, north over there, etc., etc. But there is no end really on the land saying where is north. It's only a concept based on the position and direction that we are relative to where we are. Yeah.
Yes. So here, make sure that we are talking about Atta Paññatti, no? So we're not talking about the word north, east, south, west. We're not talking about the name yet. That's Nama Paññatti, no? But we're talking about Atta Paññatti. So really, that direction, the direction itself, then that is the north or the south that we are talking about. So what we call Atta Paññatti, no? That direction. Yeah. Okay. So Kala Paññatti is the time concept, and time concept also depend on the course of the sun. The movement of the sun and of the planet. So if the sun is in a certain point, then we say it is noontime, or it is afternoon time or morning time, and so on. So this kind of ideas is also called a concept, because actually in ultimate reality, it does not exist. Although past, present, and future, as we know, the existence itself exists. No, things arises, exist, and then passes away. So in a way, time concept is a little bit interesting, because we say it exists, and then I mean, there is a process. Things do arise, exist, and pass away. So in a sense, there is past, present, and future. No, but in ultimate reality, what we call 1 p.m., 2 p.m., or 5 p.m., or depending on the position of the sun, then that is just concepts. No? Okay.
Everybody
yes,
okay?
but past, present, and future exist in a way because it is a like process.
Moving,
it moves. Okay, so these are the two other Paññattis, and then we still have one more. For Atta Paññatti, the concept of what is made known. And the last one is Akasa Paññatti, space concept. This we have also talked about it when we talked about Rupa. So when we talked about Rupa, the space between two Rupa are called this, the Akasana, the space. But concept. Here, this concept is not that, because the other one is the space between two ultimate realities. In chapter 6, when we talk about Rupa, we talked about that. But here, the Akasa Paññatti means something that means the non-touching of the thing. So there is a space, for example, like a cave or a hollow thing. So is the mode of in the books that Sayadaw Usilananda said, that is the mode of the non-impact. So there is like a hollow
something
thing there.
And that thing is not even made by itself. It's made by the enclosure that makes it. For example, the space we have in a room is made because of the walls and the ceiling. That's what actually makes us understand that there is some space in between. Otherwise, when we look out, yes, we understand there is space, but it's open space, but it is a little bit harder to pinpoint because it's so great, isn't it? So in this case, it's the non-touching the area between the walls and the roof, the floor. That's what makes us understand this space concept. Akasa Paññatti.
Yes, so it's like the space in the window or in the hole of the door.
Whatever has a hole.
Inside the pot, like this space, or inside a hole. So this kind of concept of space.
The enclosure help us to understand
something that
concept.
Delimit a space.
Exactly, that is a good word.
Okay, so now let's go to the last type of Atta Paññatti. And this last type is called Kasina Paññatti. This we are a little bit more familiar when we studied jhana. Then we have came across this. So this Kasina is like we previously used this example of the earth disk. So when a person is practicing jhana, meditation, samatha meditation, then the person concentrate on the earth disk.
But he's practicing kasina before the jhana.
Yes, I mean for jhana practice, as a kasina practice. So he or she focus her attention to the earth disk, but slowly, although the earth disk itself is material property, but based on that material property, slowly, then the person get an image in the mind. No? So that image which the person gets, that image itself is a concept because it is not real. It is not the real earth disk, and it is just something that is projected in the mind. So that one is also a concept, and in this case, it's called Kasina concept, Kasina Paññatti. Okay, so for samatha meditation, most of the time, as we have known now, most of the objects are concepts, no? Let's say the kasina disk or
metta, when we start thinking about a loved one and sending best wishes, it's just a concept happening in the mind.
Yes, actually that concept is a being concept. No? You have metta towards whom? Towards oneself, or towards my mother, my father, or my friends, or all beings. So that being concept is a concept, no? So that's why metta also take a concept as an object, no? Then
breathing in, breathing out, some more concepts, rising and falling.
So for samatha meditation, basically, we can say that most of the objects that is taken are concepts. Only there are two cases which are ultimate reality. What is that? Second and the fourth jhana. Because the second jhana take the first jhana chitta, the object, remember? So there are two in the jhanas that takes ultimate reality, which are the chittas.
They are taking the previous chitta that was happening as an ultimate reality, not as a concept, as an imagination.
So for samatha meditation, only these two ultimate realities. All other objects of meditation are concepts.
So we can say that all the concepts are actually imaginations of the mind. The mind is just thinking about things. How to say this word? Simplifications of reality that is just making sense based on it. It's very useful, but only the mind is just having those thoughts of non-existent realities. Non-existent
actually,
entities.
It's not concepts. Actually Well, we'll go into more details now because we cannot say a non-existence because the concept
they do exist
as a concept based on something that exists, no? Based on the material property, we call it a mountain. So the mountain exists as ultimate reality, like as properties, but the concept itself does not. I mean, it's not the mountain itself does not.
To be more clear, I was not clear. It's like we are imagining these things. Actually, we are just having these concepts in the mind that refer to ultimate realities. But we are just making an imagination in the head, thinking about a person or a place, which is, we are actually, the point I'm going is that we are not actually experiencing directly. We are not seeing the place. We are just imagining it.
Okay, we'll go into a little bit more details about real and unreal. And that means ultimate reality in a little while because in the content of this chapter it is coming. So now let's make a little summary of the 7 types of Atta Paññatti that we have seen. The
concepts
first one,
which is made known. Atta Paññatti.
The first one, Santana Paññatti, continuity concept. So the example that we used here was the mountain, something that the ultimate realities are being formed in such a form that it continues in that way that we think that it is like that, no? So that's continuity. Then we have collection concepts such as a car, being concept, the 5 aggregates coming together. We call it a girl, a dog, a boy, a man, an individual, a person. Then we have Disa Paññatti, direction concept, depending on the position of the sun. Then we say north, east, southwest, which direction, the direction. And then we have time concept, depending on the position of the sun. We say it's noontime, afternoon, morning time, and like this. So this Kala Paññatti, time concept. Then we have space, something, the non-touching, the delimitation by some other things like the hollow space that we call
in
space
a cave
concept.
Or the space in the room.
Yes, and then we have the kasina object, the image that are being imprinted in the mind by the kasina disc, that image. Okay, so that with this we finished with Atta Paññatti, that which is made known. So now let's go to Nama Paññatti.
Let's take a few seconds, pause, touch base with the body, digest what we just saw. That thing which is made known, Atta Paññatti.
Okay, so let's continue with Nama Paññatti now, the name itself. No, so the Nama Paññatti also are divided into 6 types. So let's go to see the first type. Nama Paññatti, the concept of that which makes known, that means the name, that we call the things. No, so here the first type is called Vijamana Paññatti. So that means concept of the real. Let's take a look at the word here. Vijamana actually means existing. So existing, what means existing? Existing here refers to actually ultimate realities, something that really exists. No, so what it really exists are just rupa and Chitta and Cetasika, no? In this case, ultimate reality. So these Vijamana Paññatti are the concepts of the real, meaning the name that we give to the ultimate realities.
For example, Chitta, Cetasika, and Rupa.
Dosa, Moha, Rupa, Patavi, Bodhe, Jo, Ayo, all these names that we give to something that really exists, to ultimate reality. So these names are called the concept of the real because it is something that really exists, no? This ultimate reality. So in this case, this type of names is called Vijamana Paññatti. Okay?
The names we put onto something real, really real.
Yeah. Okay. So the second one is the opposite of that, is Vijamana Paññatti. So the name that we give to something that does not really exist, the concept of the unreal. So here, for example, we call this a house, or we call this a dog, we call this a girl, but in ultimate reality, this is just rupa, no? Uduja rupa.
A bunch of matter piled in the shape of a house. Yes, conceptually the house is there, but actually it's only matter. Ultimate reality is only matter. The house as itself does not exist really.
Yes, so the house, this word refers not to the ultimate reality, but refers to this thing that is like a collection, that Atta Paññatti, no? That other concept that is a collection of some other other things to make it what we call a house. In the same way, this dog or this girl are actually just 5 aggregates. So this girl does not refer to the 5 aggregates. It's referred to the collection of the 5 aggregates, which we call a girl. So it is a concept of the concept, actually. So that's why it's called concept of the unreal. Avijja-mana Paññatti. Okay? Yes? Okay.
Good.
So now let's go to another one. Interesting. Now these are getting a little bit longer, the name. Now we'll see. It's called Vijja-manena Avijja-mana Paññatti. So Vijja-manena means by means of the real. Here this ena is instrumental case. Avijja-mana Paññatti. So that is the concept of the unreal by means of the real. So here is like what? Like this, but
what?
Okay.
Slowly. The concept of the unreal by means of the real.
So we will see an example. With an example, then you will understand it very easily. For example, a person, then we say a possessor of jhana. So actually, a possessor, there's nobody there. A possessor does not exist, but jhana do exist. Yes. So we are saying that, or a possessor of wisdom. So a possessor, the person does not exist, but wisdom do exist. Yes. So we are talking about the concept of something unreal, which is the possessor, by means of something real. No, by means of jhana, by means of wisdom here. So here, this is called Vijja-manena Avijja-mana Paññatti, the concept of something unreal, which is the person, by means of a quality, no, jhana or wisdom that does
the
exist,
wise person, or the person who has wisdom. The wisdom is real, but the person, and this this reminds me one saying very beautiful of the Buddha. Tell me if the words are right. It says the path. And the path exists, but not the traveler in it. You remember? It's very beautiful. The path and the walk, the path exists and the walk exists, but not the one walking on it. So it's like, what? Yes, it is like this kind of thing. The concept of I is not there, but yes, in reality, nature is happening without a name, without anything. That all this is just the concepts we put, and this is very important. I make a call for attention that this is very useful for practice. Going towards the understanding of anatta, we can see when the Buddha is saying the I and the self, the soul does not exist, is because of this. It's only a conceptualization of ultimate realities. And that is what we need to realize by ourselves, saying, yes, this thing is running in itself, regardless of the concepts or whatever I think about it.
Yeah.
And be free from those ideas, which generate the I, me, mine, and then the I, me, mine generates the attachment, and the attachment generates the suffering when things change. And since things are bound to change, oh man, this will continue rolling.
Yes, so here, of course, Paññatti is very important also. No, its concept is very important, because without concept, we cannot understand properly. No, we need to make use of concept in order to understand ultimate reality. Therefore, the Buddha, he also used the concept. He also said the monks. No, he asked the monks, come, I will speak, no? And then he even says that be an island to yourself, no, to thyself, although the myself does not exist, no, but
and the island is another concept.
In chapter 7, we also mentioned about that, and Andrea also said that it was very touching, that point, that be an island to yourself, which that no floods can come, no floods, not from outside, but no floods, defilements can attack us, no. So be the island to oneself. So though if you said that the self does not exist, or does the Buddha, he accept a self or what? So no, actually he has to use some kind of concept for teaching, for understanding, no. Now, so we have to understand deeper what he means is actually the 5 aggregates, of course, of the mind itself, not Chitta and Cetasikas. Okay, so anyway, so we're coming back to this number 3, Vijja-manena Avijja-mana Paññatti, the concepts of the unreal of the possessor. The person does not exist, but some qualities do exist. No? Okay, so let's go to the next one. The next one is called Avijja-manena Avijja-mana Paññatti. Now it is inverted. Let's see. So it's called concept of the real by means of the unreal. So many times when we read the title, it's kind of like hard to understand, but with an example, then we will know what this is about. So let's say when we say a girl's voice, in that case, so a girl, the girl does not exist, but the voice,
the sound
does exist, is material property, no? Sound, material property. So the girl's voice, yes, the voice of the girl does not exist. So it's but
the
we're
girl
talking
in
about
itself. I mean, as ultimate reality, the concept
Yeah.
of girl. Yeah.
So we're talking about actually the girl's voice, no? So we're talking about voice. Voice does exist. The sound does exist. So it's concept of the real by means of the unreal, because it's the voice, the sound of what? Of the girl, which the girl does not exist, but the sound do exist, no?
Today's class name is Brain Twisters. What?
Yes. Okay. So
not
this,
clear, no? It is clear,
it's
no?
clear,
Yeah.
no? So the sound is among the 28 material properties, no? Really exist. So when we say the girl's voice, so that's what we call the concept of the real, the sound, the voice, by means of something that is unreal. Because we said the sound that belongs to the girl, no? But there is no girl actually, no? Okay, so Abhidhamma Paññatti.
We can go further and say the voice of the person that I don't like. Wow, all the concepts coming to referring to an ultimate reality or so.
Yeah, the voice is ultimate reality, one of the 28 material properties. Now let's go to the next one. Next one is now called Vijamana Paññatti. So the concept of the real by means of the real. So now we have to understand that both things must be ultimate reality, must be real. For example, when we say I consciousness, so I does exist. Paṭicca-samuppada is an ultimate reality. It exists. Consciousness, citta, also exists. So Chakku Vijnana, Chakku also exists. Vijnana also exists. So when we talk about this, so it is the concept of the real by means of the real. Yes.
The
so
real,
consciousness, citta exists. What kind of consciousness? Chakku Vijnana, the I consciousness. I also is something real. So this is real, no?
Although we are using Pali words, which are concepts, etc., but yes, the thing is referring to something that is it has a force and an actual reality.
Yes, that's why we are talking about nama Paññatti.
Paññatti,
Therefore, we are talking about the name that refers to the ultimate reality.
Yes.
No? Okay, so now we come to the last one of this category of nama Paññatti, concept of that which makes known, or in other words, the name, or what we used to call something. So the last one is called Avijamana Paññatti. So the concept of the unreal by means of the unreal. So now nothing is real here. It's just name. For example,
like Strawberry
when we
Fields.
say the king's son. So the king also does not exist. The sun also does not exist. Yeah, it's only 5 aggregates. But in this way, we call something the king's son. Yes. Okay. So it's a concept.
Don't tell the king, man. Don't tell the king, otherwise trouble there.
Yes. Okay. So that is the 6 types of nama Paññatti. Quite interesting, no? Then before studying this, also I thought, well, I have never thought about things in this way, which is very interesting.
Now, when you go tomorrow to your school, work, whatever it is with the family, start thinking, what kind of concepts am I using in here? Wow, the whole fabric
Everything,
of reality will be different.
Yes. Okay. So now let's make a little summary of the nama Paññatti, the concept of that which makes known, or in other words, the name, no, like what we call things. So Vijamana Paññatti, concept of the real, meaning the names, the words that we use to refer directly to an ultimate reality, like Loba Dosa Moha, Citta Cetasika Rupa, and these things are ultimate realities, or Nibbana. So these are the names that we call the ultimate reality directly. Then Avijamana Paññatti. So the names that we call something that is not real. For example, a being, a cup, a telephone, a house, or a car, or something that is in itself not ultimate reality. Something that we call another concept, no? We may say also. So the third one, Vijamana Paññatti, concept of the unreal by means of the real. What was the example that we used here? Concept of the unreal by means of
the girl's
real.
voice.
No. That's the number 4. The concept of the unreal by means of the real, we used the example of what was it?
Concept of the unreal.
Let me just. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. It was the possessor of
the
jhana.
possessor of wisdom. Yeah.
The possessor of wisdom. sorry, I pressed the wrong button. I go back to
Yeah, the
sharing
possessor
screen.
of wisdom.
Yes. Yes, the possessor of wisdom.
It's,
so
it's
possessor,
real, the unreal by
the possessor is unreal, but the quality is real.
Yeah.
Yes. So unreal by means of the real. Then avijjamanena vijjamana paññatti. The concept of the real by means of the unreal. Now it comes the girl's voice.
The girl voice, yeah.
So the girl does not exist, but the voice do exist. So we're talking about the voice by means of the girl that does not exist. Yes. Okay, then we go vijjamanena vijjamana paññatti. The concept of the real by means of the real, like chakku-viññāna, eye consciousness, both are real. Then we have vijjamanena avijjamana paññatti. Concept of the unreal by means of the unreal, the king's son. So both are unreal. Yes.
Or my thing.
Oh yeah, my phone. Yeah, I also does not exist. The phone also does not exist.
My whatever is the unreal over the unreal. Wow, this really changes the perspective.
Yes. Okay, so very quickly we have gone through all the paññattis here, but then now here with this paññatti, what the mind does in the mental process, when we were talking about vittis.
The mental process,
chapter
different
4
mental process.
And session 31, actually, then we have talked about this, how the mind understand these concepts. So as a little quick revision of what we have seen previously, I would like to just take a look again with all of you about how the mind, what kind of different process it takes in order for us to recognize something.
For the mind to say the name of something, to recognize and say the name of something, it doesn't do it directly.
Yeah,
first we perceive some parts of it. We will see right now. You perceive some parts. Later on in further mental processes, we go to memory, remember the word. This is called that thing.
Yes, this we have seen in chapter 4 already, but we're just as a quick revision that we will take a look again. So first, chakku-viññāna arise, looking at the present visible object. So in this case, what happened is that an idle mental process happened. No, banga, panchadawara vajana, chakku-viññāna, sampaticana, santirana, vatavana, javana, tadaramana. So in this idle process, this eye consciousness, well, I mean the whole process actually take part of this visible object, the present visible object as its object. No,
small shots, very quickly the mind actually scans the object. Yeah, but it's taking just one little piece and then starts thinking about it, and then we will see what happens.
Yes, because now we are going into a little bit microscope, so this is only the first mental process.
Yes.
So what Bante said, tit is coming. This only one tit.
Yeah.
Now. Okay, so tit. Now we have just only one process here. So after the chakku-viññāna process, the idle process happens, then the next process that happens immediately after that is a mind door, purely mind door process. What happened is that the mind holds what it sees. The past visible object now is gone, no? That visible object, that ultimate reality is gone.
Sorry, the first process, the eye was really having contact with the object. It was a physical process. Then on the next process, we are thinking about what we saw.
Physical meaning idle,
mental
process.
Like material. There was light coming in, being transferred to electricity, and later on the mind starts thinking about it, of what it just saw in the mental process. Purely mental process.
Yes, then the next one comes a purely mental process. It holds the past visible object now in the mind. Then it happens again, another idle mental process. Now it sees something else, like another present visible object. Now in this case, another part of the thing that it is looking at. Yes. So another chakku-viññāna process happens. Then immediately after that, then another purely mental, mind or mental process happens. Now it holds both the past visible object that it is holding, no? That is holding there. Then again, another idle mental process happens, seeing another part of the present visible object. Okay, then another idle mental process now happens. And then again, it holds what it have just seen, everything in the mind, no? Then purely
very quickly
mental process. So it takes the group then after that, But that 1, 2, 3, the Chakku Vijnana process, I mean the Chakku Dwara mental process, eye door process, and the mind door process of looking at something and holding it, looking at something, holding it, it could happen billions of times, no? Not only one or twice, because when we see something, it's really actually huge, this thing. So the mind see part, but because it is so fast, then it passed billions of process already, then the mind have already done so many things without we realizing it. So it is not like 3 process and then we see the whole cup like in 3 parts. I think maybe it's less than that, no? So it's depending on the capacity of the mind. Sometimes when the mind is very tired, they say, what is that? Then we look like so that? Long, and then we don't realize what is it, no? But sometimes that, okay, you see immediately. So depending on this, the mind state also, the ability, and also many situations, many conditions, then we take part and then Chakku, idle process, mental process, idle process, mind process, idle process, mind process. Then until it collects some part of it, then now another mind process, it takes the group of the visible object as a whole. Now that it put them together, all the little parts that the mind collected from the idle process, then they put them together, and then it takes the object as a whole. With another mind process, and in this this time, only at this time, the Atta Paññatti happens. The thing concept, no, the concept, the thing that which is made known, no, that thing concept appeared in the mind of the person. Then he thinks, the mind thinks now they have something. There's the shape of a key. No, he don't know key yet. No, don't know the key of the word, but it is the shape of something. Yeah. So in his mind, he see the shape already.
I kind of recognizing the shape by now. And now the Atta Paññatti referring to the thing to be known, is starting to appear. Before it was just materia prima. I don't know how to say that in English. Like the raw material of visual information was coming. The mind was putting it together, and now it has a shape. It's something here. We are referring to something. The mind starts saying, maybe I have seen this before.
Yes. Okay. So after the Atta Paññatti happened in this case, that it got the shape, then another mind door process now takes name, or the Nama Paññatti arise in this case. Then the person thinks, a key, or Yahweh, no? So it happens like that. So depending on the shape that we see, then the Nama Paññatti come afterwards, in another mind door process. Okay, so the name concept happens. So let's see in a summary graphic of what happens. First, the mind, then we have an idle mental process taking the present visible object. Then we have the mind door process holding that past object. Then it can repeat again and again and again, many times, and take many different parts of it. Then the mind door process combine the information as a whole in the mind. Then another mind door process, now it sees the form of it. Then that's when the Atta Paññatti, the thing concept, Atta Paññatti arises in the mind. So a form of something, then the mind knows. Then after that, still another mind door process says, it's a key. So then Nama Paññatti, the name concept also arises at this moment. No? So it takes like at least minimum 4 types of mental process, many times, in order for the mind to recognize something.
The minimum it can have. But of course, there were millions of them.
And sometimes, depending on the thing that we are looking at, sometimes the mental process can stop here just with the thing concept, and then name concept does not arise. For example, if we see something that we don't know what it is,
we don't know how it is called,
then all the process, we get all the picture, make a thing, and then the mind process says is a what? We don't know what is it. There is no, I don't know the name of this thing. So in this case, these things stay as a thing concept in the mind. Maybe we can say a ball, or
it was something. It was a something there.
Yes. So, but then the name concept does not arise because we don't know what it is. No. So sometimes also name concept does not arise in this case. Yes.
That happened at some point in the human development. At some point, we didn't know how the things were called. We haven't put it even a name. So
we can
there was
invent
only things around, and then start putting. Then later on, we agree, and here we have language.
Okay, so that's the case for when we see something, in the idol process. So in the idol process, because of seeing, Atta Paññatti, the thing concept comes first, then later the name concept comes. But now, what if we listened to something? Then this is now inverted. No,
if I say key or llave.
Yes, when we listen to someone say llave, then the ear take the present audio sound one by one, no? Then take the audio sound. So in this case, an ear-door mental process arises. And then the first time he listens only
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe even can listen.
Actually, yeah, it takes like syllable by syllable, syllable by syllable. So holding that past audio object, just the then the mind door mental process arise. Then after that, another ear door mental process listen to the ve. Yeah, so it's again another ear door process happens. Then the mind now holds two syllables in the mind. So and ve, the two past audio object. So mind door mental process arises. Then another mind door mental process now group them together.
Like it did with the visual information. Now we will do it with the sound information.
Yes. So this mind door process, now it group it together, and then another mind door process, then now it's understood, oh, Yahweh. Yes. Oh, yeah. And the person listens to then it listens to the ve, then, okay, it's Yahweh. Then it only after that, in another mental process, the thing concept happens in the mind. Then now we see the Yahweh in our mind.
Opposite order.
So it opposite happens in this
We
case.
got the name first, then from the name we remember the shape, or we know where it is, or whatever mental process happens later on.
No? Okay, so, but in a case, if somebody does not speak Spanish, and then he listens Yahweh, then we say, Yahweh? What's that? No. So he only listens to the sound, and he state as just a nama Paññatti, a name, but he don't understand. So that Atta Paññatti does not arise in his mind because he don't understand what that is.
How you say llave in Cantonese?
Saucy.
Saucy. Yes, saucy. You say saucy. What?
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 Yes. So in this case, also just like inverted with the idol process, then maybe Atta Paññatti arise or does not arise in the mind of the person.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So very briefly, we made a revision of how the mind, how mental process works in terms of our understanding of things. Well, the Paññatti, the things we see, and how many process it takes for the mind to recognize something. So actually it's very incredible. And now I'm talking to you, there are so many sounds, and then so billions of processes happening in your mind
for each word,
each syllable.
I mean millions of processes for each word.
Yes, for each word, and then you still have to combine all the words to make the sentence. And then for the mind to understand the sentence,
and then put it into context of the meaning based on the information we saw at the beginning. Atta Paññatti and all that. The mind is unbelievable.
So
we have an unbelievable machine.
Yes, really an amazing computer.
Visually, you are also seeing us. You are also feeling the sensations of the cushion. You're also feeling the temperature, and wow, the mind is unbelievable.
So, yes, it's a very powerful machine. Yeah, indeed. Okay, so with this, now we have finished all the content of chapter 8, which is Paññatti. And so, yes, congratulations.
Congratulations, everybody. We finished chapter 8. Only one chapter to finish the whole course.
Yes, coming to chapter 9.
Sadhu, everybody, for the collective efforts. Thank you, Charana. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for everything. We are moving forward. We finished chapter 8. And as we said before, we just opened the box, the Pandora box. Chapter 8 is very deep. Continue with our interest to continue investigating and exploring to make our wisdom sharper and more accurate. Yeah.
Yes, causality, the cause and effect. This is actually a very important teaching of among all the Buddha's teaching. This cause and effect is very important. So this cause and effect in this chapter, we have seen Paṭicca-samuppada, super important, dependent origination. Then we have seen also the Patana,
all
which
the,
is
all the
all the
conditions.
conditions which are very helpful to understand Paṭicca-samuppada as well. And so, and then we have seen also some kind of concepts here in this chapter. So closing this chapter, now we will go to the next chapter next week, which is the Kamatana meditation. Meditation. So in this new chapter, coming chapter 9, there are a lot of different interesting content. So which now we will after the break time.
Yes, it's time for a break.
After break time, we will do a very brief introduction of what we are going to look at from next week on.
Yeah, we will go to the, we can say the most important chapter of it, because it's the how. We already learn all this information, how the mind works, how the body works. Now, how to contemplate it in ourselves in order to advance in our inner development, purification of the mind, of all the stages that we will see on the chapter, until final liberation. Here comes the methodology, the very essence of why the Buddha taught all what we have seen in these 8 chapters is because of what it is coming, how to free our mind from suffering. The methodology, many of them, we already know them because they are actually quite simple practices, some of them, but we will go into depth how and why. We will be able to understand this is why, because the mind is doing all these processes, and if you stop the process right here, it doesn't generate negativity, for example. So we will see very clearly. And I want to, before taking the break, I want to point out, let's share merits of our good work, finishing another chapter. Let's remember our parents. We dedicate the merits of our noble efforts in studying all this. May we are skillful to put it into our life, make it our own, and be this wisdom. May the fruits be beneficial for our mama, papa, for their health and mental stability, for our partners, friends, brothers and sisters, children, people we know, people we don't know, and all beings on the universe. May we continue benefiting by this teaching. We remember our teachers. May they be well and continue cultivating and keeping this treasure. It's already in our hands. Let's make best use of it, and may it serve many beings. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Amya, 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 amya. Yuro mucha baguro. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Alo chachadamya, amya, amya, amya. Yuro mucha baguro. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Alo chachadamya, amya, amya, amya. Yuro mucha baguro. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Especially for those who suffer more than us. May the fruits be beneficial for them. Thank you, everyone. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Moving forward.
Okay, so thank you so much, and let's see in 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
and then we come back for the introduction of chapter 9.
Yes. Welcome.
Okay, so now let's go to Kamatana introduction. So Kamatana meditation. So let's just take a little look at this word first, so we will know what we are talking about in the coming chapter. No? So Kamatana. First, we see this Pali word. It's combined with 2 words, kama and tana. No, kama, as we know, is action. No, action. But here, actually, it means bhavana, mental development. In this case, what kind of action? The action of mental development. So this kama here means bhavana, the mental development or cultivation. Then tana, the first meaning of this kamatana is the arising place. So if you put these 2 words together, the first meaning we can get is the arising place of mental development. So in the sense of what? In this sense, this kamatana means the object of meditation, actually. So the place where the mental development arises.
Happens.
Yes. So this first meaning of kamatana are actually the objects of meditation.
So we can say whatever the mind takes as an object to contemplate or to stabilize, that will be can be called a kamatana. The place where the mental activity, the development in the direction of purification of the mind happens.
Okay, so now this is the first meaning, and the second meaning here, kama here means higher mental development, and then the tana is the proximate cause. like the base, no? Tana is like a place, no? So the place, meaning here, the proximate cause for higher development. So in this case, this Kamatana means actually the meditation itself, the proximate cause of higher mental development. So what is cause of the higher mental development? The cause of higher mental development is actually, for example, in Vipassana, there are different stages of understanding. No?
Development,
so, we cannot understand the third stage before we understand the first stage. So this goes step by step, this understanding. So the lower development helps the higher development, then the higher development helps the higher development, helps higher development. So Kamatanas means the cause for higher development. So something we do in order to have higher mental development.
Whatever we learn today is going to help us to understand deeper tomorrow. And it has been in this way for anything that we apply our minds to.
Yes, so the practice itself. So Kamatana here has two meanings. The first meaning is the objects. The objects where those mental development arise. So that is the objects are also called Kamatana. This is in the passive way. Then the active way, the subject itself, the development itself, which is the Chitta and Cettasika actually, that are also called Kamatana, which are the proximate cause for higher mental development. Okay, so Kamatana have these two meanings, the passive meaning and the active meaning. Both are called Kamatana. So therefore, in this chapter of Kamatana, we are also going to look at the object of meditations, also going to look at the meditation itself. So here, as we know, in the Buddha's teaching, there are two kinds of bhavana, two kinds of mental development are being taught, the Samatha bhavana and the Vipassana bhavana. Samatha bhavana, one-pointedness, concentration practice, and then we have Vipassana meditation, the insight practice. So these two different types of meditation will be looked at in this chapter 9. Now, for samatha meditation, the first categories that we are going to look at in this chapter are the objects of samatha meditation. So what kind of objects can we take for samatha meditation? So there are 40 types of objects that the Buddha taught. So here I'll give a short list. First, the 10 kasinas, the disc, the kasina disc,
the
that
space,
can be earth, colors,
fire,
and
light.
all those. Then one by one in details, we will look at. Introduce in the coming week.
These are meditation tools. We can call like that. We take these discs and we use them as a tool. We can have one in our room and be light, for example, for me is very useful. It's more vivid. We can use colors. We will check on the methodology, how to apply them.
So the 10 kasinas are 10 of the 40. Then another types of meditations are like Asuba. Asuba is the recollection of the non-beautiful, the contemplation of the non-beautiful.
Aspects of the human body or of nature.
Okay. Then Anusati, we have recollections. The recollections are including the Buddha-nusati, Dhamma-nusati, Sangha-nusati, the recollection of the qualities of the Buddha, of the Dhamma, of the Sangha, then recollections of one's good deeds. There are many different types. We will go into details
the
one by one
Brahma-viharas.
Later. Then Brahma-vihara is coming. Limitless, the 4 Brahma-viharas, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekkha. So those are also meditation object for samatha meditation. Then we have sanya. This perception about food. So this practice is a little bit particular. Then later we will explore. Then this is to see the undesirable aspects of food. But our teacher says we have to be very careful about this practice. Later on, we will go into details.
Also, the Asuba, we need to be very careful. We must have the right mental frame before applying them. Because if we have any inch of aversion at that moment and we start practicing, the practice can turn sour. Because we have aversion and then we start seeing something unpleasant, the mind will just get hooked with it, and we need to be very, at least equanimous, or better still, if the mind is with benevolence and understand reality in a kind way. It's just understanding it is as it is.
Okay, so that's sanya. Then we have another category called vavadana. Vavadana are the analysis of the 4 elements. So earth, water, fire and wind. So this is the practice of that for samatha. Then we have arupa. Arupa is actually the arupa jhana objects. This we have already studied in the jhana processes. So those objects are also included for samatha meditation. So later on in the coming week, we are going to look at these 40 types of meditation object, as well as the meditation objects, and the temperaments. So here, in the commentaries, also it is explained that different kinds of person, they have different kinds of temperaments. No, so some people they may be of a raga chariya, so they have lustful temperament, meaning like a lot of more loba,
desire,
desire,
attachment, lust.
Or dosa chariya, a hateful temperament, hateful or angry, that person
aversion.
That is a little bit more tend to have aversion.
Impatient.
Yes, then we have moha chariya, person which have more an ignorant temperament. Or there are also sada chariya, a faithful temperament. There are people that are more tend to have more tendency to confidence and sada or faith about the teachings. Then also we have buddhi chariya. This buddhi means intellect, means understanding. Like, so they're more intellectual. They like to think about different kinds of things. No? Then also we have vitaka chariya, people who likes to think, or sometimes discursive thinking also. No, so
I think we are a lot of those.
Yes. So although there are these kind of temperaments, but it does not mean that one has to be always one type. No, let's say I'm always dosa, only dosa. Can be a little bit more tendency towards that, but sometimes also understanding, sometimes also thinking, sometimes also ignorance, sometimes also like, so we have kind of all.
But we have one major.
Yeah, we have one of these that are more, we are more, how can
inclined.
I say, yes, to that kind of temperament.
You know which one your mind has? You clear? I think we did this experiment before, no? You know which one you are? Kind of?
Yes. So depending on the different temperaments, so there are different kinds of meditation which is suitable for different types of temperaments. No? For example, for a person who has a lustful temperament, like a lot of desire, then for this person, Asuba practice would be recommended. For example, to see the non-beautiful side of the things, because desire sees what? Desire
only
sees only the beauty, because I see beautiful, that's why I want.
It gets enchanted, it gets blurred by beauty without seeing that also there are non-pleasant characteristics on the same person, but it gets so obsessed with it and attached because of it. And also, for example, in the case of somebody who has hateful temperament or impatient temperament, it will be good for that person to practice metta. It needs to apply the opposite of whatever that person naturally, whatever negativity that person has, we need to cultivate the opposite. So all of them has their opposite forces and things that helps.
Yes, for example, now Bhante talking about the dosa chariya, the hateful temperament, aversion type. For these persons, the Asuba is not so suitable. Because
they will get more angry.
The non-beautiful thing, because they are already impatient and having aversion, and you still let them see so ugly things and disgusting things, and then they get more angry. No, so for them
they will get sad or depressed, whatever. No. That's why I say we must have the right mental frame, especially with the practice of Asuba. Be very careful. One thing that helps me a lot, because I've practiced in the past, I kind of have that Loba type kind of mind. It is that before doing the Asuba, think of yourself as a scientist. Like any doctor, when they go, obviously at the beginning you see something and the body and mind, it gets like this. But if you want to understand, if you put your mind frame on that, even if you see things that are inner parts of the body or something like this, which none of them are beautiful actually, you can understand them as just reality and have this wisdom arising without you developing this disgust or aversion towards the object.
Yes. So another example for Vitaka Chariya, a person who thinks, who likes to think a lot. Actually, for this person, Anapanasati is recommended. So breathing.
Calm down,
stabilize. So otherwise, if a Vitaka person, then you practice the recollection, then you continue thinking, then the mind cannot calm down. So
on the other hand, we have the Moha type. You have a people who the mind is not very swift, is not very quick, is a little bit slow, a little bit blurry. You need to ask questions to that people. You start investigating, think about reality. But you see, these two are totally opposite. We cannot give general instructions for everybody. It depends on the mind of the people, because if that person is mentally dull, you need to put that person to think, but not to reach to anxiety or anything. But you can see just between those two, how important it is to know what kind of mind we have in each moment and what kind of tool is the best to use then. So this becomes very, very important, especially if in the future somebody asks you about meditation, you will be able to give instructions much more specific. What do you need now?
Yeah.
And apply the tools accordingly, wisely. Yeah.
Yes, although to know this exactly what type of temperament and like that only the Buddha knows. No, even the Venerable Sariputta made a wrong
calculation, wrong
assessment and gave the wrong meditation object to someone, and then that person for that, because of that, didn't get enlightened.
The Venerable Sariputta, imagine he was like, oh master, he tells to the Buddha, I think I didn't
actually the person he said, I practiced according to what the Venerable Sariputta assigned me to practice, but I didn't get anything for a long time. So he went to see the Buddha, and then the Buddha gave him another meditation subject, another meditation object, because the Buddha, he knows exactly what the person needed. So after he practiced what the Buddha gave him to practice, very soon he became an arahant. No? So so it is not so easy, but I mean, we can take as reference.
The best thing we can do is know all the tools, know where our mind is moment to moment, because it's changing every day, and apply the thing that we feel more suitable. When we feel anxious, do anapana.
Yes.
When the mind is thinking, when you feel dull or sleepy, start investigating, etc., etc. Feel angry, practice metta. We will see all these details. We will have all this information.
Yes, and also like beautiful, for example, a person of sadachariya, a person that have faith, that have confidence, if the person practice Buddha Nusati, the recollection of the qualities of the Buddha, then because of his sada, then his mind get delighted, no? Thinking about the Buddha, how wonderful, how wise, and how compassionate. Then because of this recollection of the Buddha's quality, then his mind becomes pity arise, no? Pity is what jananga, no? A jhana factor. Joyful so it is helping his mind to develop those qualities for the attainment of higher development, or even jhana, and then later from there you practice vipassana and for understanding ultimate reality. No, so depending on different types of temperaments, different types of meditations are recommended. So in this chapter, that this part we are also going to take a look at.
It's useful, no? Very, very, very handy to have this for ourselves and for others. Very useful.
Okay, so then we'll continue with the introduction of the content of chapter 9. After that, we will then look at jhana and abhinya. No,
which we have seen
already
a little bit.
Yeah, but it's just how, because it's how the development goes. No, then you first samatha, then you have the objects. What kind of objects is there available? Then what kind of temperament suitable for what kind of object? Then the practice. Then arrive to jhana. Then jhana abhinya. So yeah, so it is like the step by step going up. Yes. So with abhinya, then we finish the samatha bhavana, the highest point of concentration meditation. Then we will go to vipassana. So for vipassana here, the 7th stage of purification will be explained, like, so how the mind gets purified stage by stage, you know, like, so what is necessary to be purified and how. And then we have 10 kind of insight knowledges, meaning the 10 understanding, the steps. No? First, we have to understand this. Then with this understanding, we understand the second. Then with this understanding, we understand the next one, then understand the next one, understand the next one, until maga arise. No? Before maga, so there are many types of understanding, knowledge, wisdom that we have to cultivate in order for maga to arise.
So we dissolve ignorance in stages. We start understanding something, and as we have mentioned before, the first insight is to understand nama and rupa clearly. That's why the teaching of Abhidhamma. We know now nama and rupa, we can contemplate it, and hopefully we arrive there soon, and then here comes the next one. And we start releasing the ignorance, releasing until the whole of ignorance is left out.
Yes. So nama rupa paricheda jnana, understanding mind, mind as mind, matter as matter, clearly that they are not the same. Then we have paccaya parigaha jnana, which is actually Paṭicca-samuppada. So understanding the causes. No, the causes of different things.
And we already saw. So you have you will have the theory to say, this one, you know, we will know what we are looking for already as we contemplate.
Yes. So that all the information that we have learned in the previous chapters will be very helpful for Vipassana practice.
We would just kindly recommend you to please memorize all what we have learned before. So
Really?
Everybody, very scary. Yeah, please memorize everything that we have seen. Say it by heart, then we will. No, don't worry. It will come. It will come.
Well, but
we need to keep it. We need to keep reading and recollecting, keeping it fresh. But things will come.
If you wish to memorize, it's possible because in Burma, those samaneras, 8 years old,
they know
the examination,
book.
they recite the whole
Abhidhamma
chapters of Abhidhamma Sangha. So possible.
Oh, and the teacher's reading. Yes.
Okay. Well, so after the 10 inside knowledge, then it will explain about the attainment of Magga and Phala, which we have already seen a little bit, and also the different kinds of emancipations, like how the person get released, get emancipated from suffering. So with this, also then the whole path of how to practice Vipassana will also be covered in this chapter. Okay, so
we finished chapter 9.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
chapter 9
everybody.
done.
See you. Next course, we finish. Chapter 9 is done.
And so this is what we are going to look at from next week onwards. I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe 2 months or so.
2 months more.
Depend on how we are going.
Start thinking what you wish to do for your graduation ceremony. I would say, why don't we all get enlightened by then? And that would be a great gift.
Well, I think it's a little bit hard, but yeah, we can try.
Let's try. Yes.
Okay. So we will stop here today for the content, so that we can start from the very beginning, chapter 9 from next week onwards. So I'll stop sharing the screen, and if you have any comment or questions, that you are welcome to
Let's
share.
Just chat a little bit. How do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yes,
Casita, please.
I'm really excited about chapter 9. I think it's super useful
Good.
for us, for any of us, and for a lot of other people that maybe we can share with. As you say, we're not gonna be able to identify which type we are or someone else, but we can use those tools to do it better, and that's wonderful. I didn't know that it was like the types and everything.
Yeah, the Buddha was amazing, really, very, very clear. And you will see more details, Casita. They will come more and more ways to apply for ourselves, very, very beneficial. And I have to say that chapter 9, we can find it. We are opening again another box, big box. If you wish to go, once we finish with the Abhidhamma course, if you wish to go deeper onto that chapter, there is the Visuddhimagga book. It is actually, chapter 9 is a compressed summary version of the Visuddhimagga. If you want to see more detail and more specific things that will be useful, depending on our own presence of mind and the mind of others, if we want to help, then the Visuddhimagga is the next step to take.
Yeah, I think that's really important for therapy and psychology in general. That I think that psychology is just like this compared to the teaching of the Buddha. But
but very useful. Both can be benefited. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, very happy, Casita. We can see your happiness, and it makes us very happy.
I'm super excited. I just want to jump and dance.
Good.
Very good. Caro, adelante.
Caro, adelante. Ya tiene el micro. Adelante, Carito.
Pues me siento muy contenta y muy agradecida por todo, porque aunque a lo mejor es poquito, para mí es inmenso el avance y todo. Entonces, muy agradecida con ustedes por todo su tiempo, todo su esfuerzo. Y pues muy contenta con lo que vi hoy. No sé, o sea, como que algo hizo clic y me siento muy emocionada, muy contenta, mucho. Y pues nada más.
Sadhu. Te queremos mucho, Carito. Las queremos mucho, los queremos mucho. Los quiero mucho. Abrazos, queridos. Qué gusto, qué aventuraza nos hemos aventado. Gracias.
Sí, qué bueno encontrarnos en este video.
Kalyanamitas, así es. Qué gusto.
The same as Caro. I'm also really grateful and incredibly happy for all this time. I have no words. I'm also really grateful.
Oh, sad. We receive it in the heart. Thank you. Yes.
Just to say thank you very much for all the time, and what is happening is that we start like 12 people and now we are just few people. This is a marathon of knowledge, and thank you very much for all the effort and the animus and the enthusiasm to make all this continuously very disciplined. So I am so happy. I'm very grateful with all what you have done through all these months and this time. So we are entering into the practical area, and I think it's a wonderful moment to land everything in such a joyful way and to discover the reality that concepts are more important when you are in the practice of meditation as a real thing with your own personality and temperament. That is great, really great. Thank you very much for all the effort that you have done all these years.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure, my dears. Thank you, Charanita, for everything.
You so much.
And
thank you.
we will continue, my dears, the adventure. We still have one chapter. It seems a little bit like, oh, what happened today? I was thinking, but yes, we are coming to the crown of this, and we are very glad. The information is over. Now only is how to apply. No more new concepts coming. So congratulations. Yes, we finished something.
Only put things together.
Only putting things together. Now knitting. We have all the thread. Now we start knitting and get a very nice wisdom chambrita.
Yes.
Good, my dear family. Let's thread wisdom. We have a very good material, and let's put our minds together. So may these efforts of everybody be beneficial for the liberation of all suffering. Idano punyam nibbana sa pacheyo hotu. Idano punyam nibbana sa pacheyo hotu. Idano punyam nibbana sa pacheyo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And we share the fruits of this knowledge. May we get a lot of fruits for the benefit of many people, especially those who suffer more than us. And with that said, we repeat in Pali. Idano punyam sabasatanam pajimam. Idano punyam sabasatanam pajimam. Idano punyam sabasatanam pajima. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We remember our parents, family, friends, people we know, people we don't know, and people with whom we have had troubles in the past. May everything come to peace. We make peace with nature. We make peace with the present moment. We know what to do. It's just a matter of walking. Thank you, my dear family.
Thank you so much. So we'll see you
continues
next week, and we can start with chapter 9.
Chapter 9. Thank you, my
have
dears.
Have
a good night. Sleep well. Very glad that we end up happy and that you're going like this to bed. Wow, what a blessing. Enjoy. We continue. The best is coming. So have a good one.